Welcome to FCPS All-Stars. Our special guest for today is Susan Leftwich, general vocal music teacher, kindergarten through 5th grade at Urbana Elementary School. That was a mouthful.
Yes, it was.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Have you always had a love for music, Susan?
Gosh, I think I have. From a really young age, we had kind of a special tradition. Every Sunday, my parents would take me to a nearby military base. I lived near Baltimore,
okay.
And they would take me to Fort Meade, where every Sunday evening there would be a different military band performing. And I think that just kind of instilled in me from a very young age a love in music, for sure.
So is that what spurred you on to want to become a music teacher?
Actually, no. Initially, that wasn't really my thought at the beginning. I had my eye on the conductor. While everyone was watching the percussion and their loud noises and such, I was really mesmerized by the conductor and watching how he controlled the band. Yeah.
So did you ever get to be a conductor?
Well, I did a little bit here and there in college,
okay.
But I had an experience where I was able to perform with the Roanoke Symphony Orchestra. I went to Radford University,
okay.
And I actually performed in the orchestra. And I think that was the first time when I was really in that environment and realized this is not me. This is not where I'm meant to be. And that was a little scary because it was pretty far into my college years at that point, and I felt a little bit like, oh gosh, what am I going to do?
Oh, okay.
So I ended up with a degree in music education, and then when I graduated, I had kind of a scary thought that I was certified to teach kindergarten through 12th grade. But I had zero marching band experience at all. I had gone to private schools growing up, and my college didn't have a marching band. So I thought, well, if I end up with a high school position, then I need some experience in marching band. So that's what landed me with the Baltimore Ravens marching band.
And what is it like being part of a professional marching band?
Well, it's interesting because the people in the band are anywhere from age 18 to, I don't want to say 18 to 80. I don't know that we had any that were that old, but definitely we had some 50, 60-year-olds. So you have a pretty wide range of ability and a wide range of age and experience, but I made some really good friends in the band during that time. It was kind of one of the first places where I made some real adult friends and some good connections and networking for becoming a teacher.
Okay, and I think you met somebody pretty special.
Yeah, you could say that. I met my husband, Jeremy, in the marching band, yes.
Okay. And what instrument did you play?
I played mellophone, which is, a lot of people aren't familiar with it. It's a marching French horn. So, growing up, I played clarinet, but again, I have that go big attitude, and I wanted to play an instrument that could be heard, and so I just felt nothing against the clarinet, but I wanted to play something that I knew could be heard from the field. So.
And it's beautiful. My son actually played mellophone.
Okay.
And we said, "You're playing a what?"
Right.
So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, most people don't know what it is. They think it's an oversized trumpet. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that your husband Jeremy was also in the band. What was his instrument?
Actually, well, he started off playing he started off playing saxophone. But by the time I joined the band, he was actually the drum major, so he was one of the conductors.
So both of you were really entrenched in the professional marching band. So do you all still have friends today?
We still have people that we keep in touch with. There's definitely, some Facebook friends and that sort of thing, but we were just thinking back the other day that we'd had, of the people who were at our wedding that were in that band, and we had probably about 10 people there, including the band president.
Really?
Yeah. His name is John Zeman, and he's kind of a Baltimore icon.
Yeah.
He's been with the band for almost since its inception, and so he was at our wedding, and it's kind of neat because just about a year ago or so, we took our son to one of the Ravens games, and we got to introduce him to our son.
Okay.
So that was really neat because it was kind of one of those things where you feel like it came full circle. We were like, you're responsible for this. So it was nice for the two of them to meet.
Okay. So it sounds like so often we plan our path, and sometimes the path leads us in a different direction, but it can be good because you met your husband, and you mentioned your husband and your son. So tell us a little bit about your family.
Obviously my husband Jeremy and my son Jacob, he is 15 years old and he goes to Oakdale High School. And I have a daughter Elizabeth, and she is actually turning 13 next week, and she goes to Oakdale Middle School. And we're all musical. My son plays in the Oakdale High School marching band. My daughter plays in the Oakdale Middle School band. So.
All right, so are you a band mom?
I am a band mom, I am. Another thing that kind of came full circle this year was my son joined the Oakdale High School marching band. And I was so excited that we were back into that kind of atmosphere. And initially it was just my husband joined the pit crew and was on the sidelines and that sort of thing, but I couldn't help myself. So by the end of the season, it was me, my husband, and my daughter Elizabeth. We were all three at every competition, at every game, working the sidelines, hauling equipment, packing the truck, all of that sort of thing. So, yeah, we're a band family, actually.
Yeah, pit crew is no joke.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's really not.
So, and all of that, what brought you to Frederick County Public Schools?
Well, when I met my husband, he actually was born and raised here in Frederick County. He went to Linganore High School. I was born and raised in Anne Arundel County, and I was teaching instrumental music down in the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. So I was teaching in private Catholic schools in Washington, D.C. when I met him. But when we married, we moved up here, and I was commuting a good hour and a half to 2 hours every day.
Oh my!
So I knew pretty quickly that I needed to find a position closer to home. And so when I initially applied for Frederick County Public Schools, I was offered a position at Green Valley Elementary School teaching general vocal music. And I had a student teaching experience doing it, but I was still very uncomfortable. It was definitely.
You're an instrumental music person.
I am an instrumental music person. My degree is in instrumental music, and so it was definitely out of my comfort zone. But I kind of thought, well, it'll be a stepping stone. I'll take the position, and then a year or two after, I'll find an instrumental position and get right back to it. But that's not how it happened.
So what happened next?
Well, for the first time, I felt like I had landed where I belonged. I felt natural. I felt good being with the younger children and just sharing my love of music with them and just pure joy every day going to work. It was really, the first time I felt like I was in the right place. So, yeah.
So even though you're trained as an instrumental music teacher, and now you teach voice. I think I heard that your daughter actually taught you a thing or two about an instrument.
She did, actually, yeah. She, about a year ago, she had started to watch some ukulele videos on YouTube and asked me if we would purchase her a ukulele. And I said, sure. And I said, well, do we want to get lessons? I know nothing about ukulele.
You don't usually hear of teenagers saying, you know what, I want to watch a ukulele YouTube video.
Right, that's true, that's true. So, so we purchased her the ukulele, and I started to hear more and more coming from her bedroom, just chords here and notes there. Wow. And I started to hear familiar songs from the radio and that sort of thing. And so, so I asked her, I said, how are you doing all of this? YouTube, Mom. I learned it all on YouTube. So, so she's actually taught me then. Truly, she has taught me everything I know about how to play. And I've been able to turn around and use that in my classroom. So that's been nice.
That's amazing. Now, I have a ukulele that we got from Hawaii, but it's basically just used to annoy my family.
Okay.
What's the difference between a ukulele and a guitar, and why is it good for students?
Well, it's a question I get a lot, actually. A guitar is obviously larger than a ukulele. A guitar usually has more strings. Guitars are typically 6-string instruments. Ukuleles have 4. The guitar strings are further apart and they have more tension, so they're a little bit harder for small hands to play. Ukulele, the size is the biggest thing. It makes it really easy for young children to play it. and the strings have a lot less tension, so to pluck or strum is super easy for the younger kids.
How have your students received the ukulele?
They enjoy it. I use it. I definitely play some songs here and there for them, but I use it a lot during transition time. I use it a lot just to give instructions or to ask questions. I'll play chords in the background, and so they enjoy it because it gets their attention, and it's easier for me to get their attention. So, in fact, earlier this year, I had a student raise her hand in class and ask me, Ms. Leftwich, do you think you could teach us how to play ukulele? And I said, well, I would love to, but they're expensive instruments. They're not expensive, really, but when you're thinking about buying enough for an entire classroom, they're expensive, So, but this little girl was not giving up. I continued my lesson, and she raised her hands a couple minutes later, and she said, well, how expensive are they? And I had the conversation, and I continued my lesson. A couple minutes later, well, if we raise the money, would you do it with us? And I said, sure, sweetheart. How about if we talk about this after class, kind of thing. And then about a week or two later, I had one of our school counselors come up to me and say, I've got 4 girls that came to me to ask me if I could help them with fundraising to buy ukuleles for your classroom. And that began the ukulele project. So
the ukulele project.
The ukulele project. So these 4 third grade students, these 4 girls, have done everything from fundraising and when the money came in, we added it all up and tallied it all and that sort of thing. So we've raised almost $3,500 between fundraising and our very generous PTA at Urbana. I have to give them credit for sure. We've raised enough money to buy 70 ukuleles for my classroom and my teaching partner's classroom, so that every student in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade will learn the ukulele this year. So it's exciting, very exciting. Yeah,
that is exciting.
And I was very proud of the girls that they could see something, go from an idea of something that seemed impossible to a reality. That'll be very rewarding for me to be able to say, you did this,
Yes.
So that'll be neat.
Did you bring your ukulele?
I did. I
brought
my ukulele, yes.
I brought mine
did.
too.
So
they look pretty similar.
They do. Yeah, you can get them in different colors, and I love that yours has writing on it and some flowers and
This
such,
is what you get for $19.99. No.
Hey, there you go. Mine was just a little bit more, but not much.
Yeah,
Ukuleles
I'm sure.
are pretty affordable, believe it or not.
So can you play something for us? And you know what?
Sure.
I'll just kind of chime in at some point.
Okay, sure. Let's see here. I'm gonna just move
what
to the
song
edge.
do you think you want to play?
Well, one of the things that inspires my daughter and these girls in my class is that this year there was a 13-year-old little girl. Her name was Grace Vanderwall, and she won America's Got Talent. And she won it by playing and singing a song that she wrote herself. And It's a song that my students love for me to play for them. So I'll play out the chords, and they love to sing, over top of my playing. So I guess I'll play a little bit of that for you.
Amazing. And here's my contribution.
So,
well, mine doesn't quite sound like yours, so I think I'll stick to my day job.
I could give you some lessons.
Okay, I'll take you up on that.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your talent with us today at FCPS All Stars.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining in as well. We hope you enjoyed the song, and we'll see you next time. In the meantime, shine on.